What's up, YouTube? It's Relentless here, bringing you yet another Division 2 build video. But before we hop into the video, if you would be so kind, please ground and pound that sub button. Also, smash that like button if you happen to be new to the channel. And don't forget to reach up there, trigger the bell, and turn on post notifications, so that way you never miss a live stream or a video that is uploaded. Well, as you've seen in the clips before, and also if you want to check out further viewage of this build in action, the video right before this one is an extensive, over 10 minutes PvP in the Dark Zone with me utilizing this particular build. And now I know, before the sweats and the tryhards and the haters hop in the comments section, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, yes, I was away for almost 7.5, 8 months. So I find it kind of boring just to hop in here by myself and to farm for specific pieces. So if I happen to come across them while PvPing in the Dark Zone, I pick them up. But let's be honest, I'm kind of at a disadvantage. I'm kind of blindfolded, handcuffed with another rogue agent's shield shoved up my ass at the moment. But it's all good. I still hold my own. I still do what I need to be done in the Dark Zone. So all is fair and good. No crying here, because I'm not a shield dependent, so therefore I do not have to have that crutch. But if you are, kudos to you, whatever floats your goat. But anyways, let's hop into the build. Now, the general conception of the community is everybody and their grandma is running Intimidate, Adrenaline Rush, with the Lady Death, the shield, or some kind of variation of that. It's always the Lady Death, and it's always accompanied by a shield. But as you can see, I am not using the Lady Death, and I am not using a shield. And I think Nothing But Steals put out a video saying that the pros use this, and he's talking about the Lady Death. Since when are there any pros at Division 1 or Division 2? It's not like this is a competitive esports title. He might as well just entitled it The Sweats Use This in the Dark Zone. But in my opinion, I think the Lady Death needs a little rework, maybe a little nerfing there. I know. Don't be hating. But as you can see, I choose not to run it because I actually prefer a larger magazine because of my potato aim. Plus, you kind of lose out on some benefits of some other talents. But, it's whatever floats your goat, whatever your personal preference is. But let's hop into the build. I'm using the Gunner Specialist mainly for, since I only have 1.3 million armor. If I have to put on an armor kit, then I get a 50% more armor when applying an armor kit. So it definitely comes in handy. First weapon of choice, of course, is the Banshee with Optimist. And this is not a min-max one, of course. I would like the max SMG damage and the max crit chance. But as you can see, I'm at more or less a disadvantage. If I'm not using this one, I'm utilizing the one with Measured. But after testing in the firing range as far as the difference between Optimist versus the Measured, when you're halfway through your magazine with Optimist, you're already at the low point end of Measured. And so as you go from halfway of your magazine to the end, the Banshee with Optimist is steadily still getting stronger versus the Banshee with the other bottom half of the magazine stronger on that bottom half, but the fire RPM is lower. If you combined and look at the damages between both, Optimist is actually stronger at the bottom half of the magazine than the Banshee is. And on this one I have, as you can see, damage to armor. On my Police M4, not particularly a great one, but I have the 9% damage to targets out of cover, and it have Measured on it. I'm looking for one with the max assault rifle damage roll on it, because as you can see, this one only has 10.2. I do have one down here that's slightly better, but it has Instinct on it, so I'm just utilizing this one. So even though I'm at a disadvantage, I do not have min-max rolls on everything, I still hold my own, and I remain competitive in the Dark Zone. Now, I'm utilizing two pieces of Walker Harris. That gives you the 5% weapon damage and, of course, the 5% damage to armor. I'm not going the route as in everybody utilizing the Contractor Gloves plus the Fox's Prayer. I'm only using the Fox's Prayer because, let's be honest right here, I haven't made a separate video of it. If you're going to run a rifle or an LMG, if those are your two-type archetype weapons, or basically any weapon that you want to use, they mostly will put the Pet Drop Gloves and the Fox's Prayer knee pads on because they're the best in slot. And There really is no reason to use any other piece in the gloves and knee pad section if you're going for a DPS build. In my personal opinion, that needs to be fixed because that right there stifles the build diversity because everybody wants to run the contractor gloves and Fox's Prayer. Um, it, I mean, that's the only piece of Petrop you're ever going to put on, and that's the only piece of the Overlord armaments that you're actually going to put on. So basically, it's predominant in every single archetype weapon that you're actually going to use. I just think that needs to be changed just to add a little bit more build diversity in it. But that's a whole nother video. So I'm getting with the Fox's Prayer the 8% damage to targets out of cover, combined with the 9% when I'm utilizing my AR, and that's 17% damage to targets out of cover. And then I get another 5% damage to targets out of cover by utilizing the Walker Harris. And then I'm getting the 9% from Fox's Prayer, and also another 5% damage to armor from my SMG. So that's a total of 10% damage to armor with my SMG when they are pushed up real high and tight on you with their shield dependent builds. So it really works out handy. And of course, I'm using 2 pieces of Suck Me Off just because I'm utilizing an SMG. Now there are different variations of this build. I'd like these 2 brand sets switched here and have the Walker Harris as my backpack, so that way I can utilize the Night Watcher mask of the Healer Guard. But from what little bit I can come across, these are the garbage Night Watcher masks that I have, so therefore that is why I'm not utilizing them. But if I can come across one, and then get a Walker Harris backpack with the Vigilance on it, then I would switch it out just to get that 100% scanner pulse haste and knock it down from 19 seconds to 9 seconds. And then yes, of course, you'd lose out on 12% critical hit damage, but to reduce that skill haste in half of the cooldown from the pulse definitely comes in handy. So I guess let's get into the individual pieces themselves. Of course, weapon damage, critical hit chance, critical hit damage. The Suck Me Off chest, spotter, weapon damage, critical hit chance, and of course critical hit damage. Hope you have better pieces out there than I have, and this build is even more potent. And of course, the holster, weapon damage, critical hit chance. Basically, 3 pieces of straight up nothing but reds on them, the red Legos, and of course the back half. Then putting armor on the pieces, but still stacking critical hit damage and critical hit chance in both. And then when it does come to those shield dependents and other skills or whatnot, you can easily switch when not on cooldown between the regular pulse and then of course the jammer pulse. So that is really fluid in that aspect of it. And you're probably wondering, why do I call this the Magician build? Well, I should have started out this first, but as you can see in the clips and of course the extensive gameplay, you see the players and then now you don't. So you see them and then now you don't. I mean, you can make quick work and easily make enemy NPCs or even other players vanish at just a click of the weapon, because it is actually very potent, and I try to do something a little different than the usual, sweats tryhards out there that are running the cut and paste same build as everyone's using as far as the Intimidate, Adrenaline Rush with the shield and Lady Death. I mean, there is no build diversity. Yes, it's probably the best that's in the game, of course, as far as the meta. But that doesn't mean you necessarily have to use it. And plus, I like a little bit of a challenge anyways. So that's why I choose not to use a shield, and will never use a shield. And we'll try to run different builds and different talents and not use what everybody else is using, because I'm my own person and I don't need to cut and paste just what somebody posted on YouTube and then run it in the dark zone. But anyways, guys and gals, that does it. That just goes to show you that you can still be competitive and not follow in the cookie cutter crowd of running the all things broken build in the game, and still be competitive. It all just depends on your personal playstyle and also your team that you're actually playing with. But that's going to wrap it up. Appreciate all the love and support. I'll go over my character sheet right quick. 59.1% critical hit chance, 142.4 crit damage, and as you can see, the damage to armor there. and that's not taken into effect, and the listing of the targets to out of damage to targets out of cover. That is another 8% from the Fox's Prayer knee pads. And then, of course, the AR 54, and then 132.4, 5% damage to armor. And this is the one, the AR that'll have 17% damage to targets out of cover and make all your problems in the dark zone quickly disappear. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Appreciate all the love and support. Don't forget to smash that sub like button and hit that bell. And we'll see you guys fudging later.